Back to you. This is your chance to tell the world what it's like being you.
It's tough to focus, and although without my meds, my ideas are more complex and are better, and I've noticed that.
Otis, excuse me.
And well, when I don't take my meds, it's not as easy for me to focus. When I'm really stressed out, my nervous tics come back. I think it's when I'm really stressed out. That's the best conclusion since Miss Walker's been on to my case a lot recently, and then my tics are coming back. So
what happens
that makes sense.
What happens when she hands you a piece of work, or like you're supposed to go to literacy stations and you haven't been able to do those? Explain to the world what happens.
Sometimes I zone out. But
sometimes what?
Sometimes I zone out. And sometimes
explain zoning out.
Like sometimes I just think about other stuff and stare off into space.
Why do you do that? Can you stop yourself?
Probably if I work hard at it.
But aren't you scared that you might not pass 5th grade?
Of course.
So when you start zoning out, it doesn't occur to you, oh my gosh, I might not pass 5th grade if I do this?
I don't usually think about it.
How do you feel when she gives you a piece of work in class?
Annoyed, because if I don't do it quickly enough, then she'll get onto my case. And
is that why you tune out?
I don't know. Probably because of just stress of being handed more work when I already have a full plate. So,
but you're really smart and you can do the work.
It would be nice if I could have just 1 week of all work that can be taken home, and then 1 week of all, like, tests and stuff. That would be much easier for me.
So it's the classroom setting that makes you zone out?
I don't know. I mean, it's easier at home because you guys are, instead of criticizing, you're saying that you can do it, and it goes on my side, but not in school. It feels like it's me against the world.
So sorry.
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being made fun of by the teacher and by people in the class.
Tell about when she laughed at you in class. Tell about the whole mean test.
She's done it multiple times. Yeah.
She's laughed at you multiple times? Explain one of them.
Well, remember that one time I explained it? I said that, well, I had a test on mean, I think. Like, I had to find the mean.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what mean was, and I asked her if she could give me an example of what the mean would be, and then she laughed. She said, we already went over this. No.
What happens when you ask her for instructions because you don't understand?
Sometimes she doesn't repeat them. Sometimes she tells me ask another person. And sometimes she just says, I already told you, and doesn't tell me what.
So what if you tell her if you need more information?
Well, usually, when I plan on asking at the beginning of the day, my day's usually so busy that I don't have time. And when I do have time, it's when she's busy.
Oh. So when you raise your hand and you try to ask her a question, what happens?
Well, usually I sit there raising my hand for quite a while, but I haven't done it in a long time. And the day before yesterday...
Why haven't you done that in a long time?
I don't know. You guys have told me not to ask her any more questions because she always gets angry with me.
Well, only when you ask a bunch of questions.
Well, I want a bunch of detail.
So what happens when you raise your hand and you say, Miss Walker, I have a question.
Well, sometimes she says and goes, "What?"
And other times?
Well, that's how it usually is.
Okay, well, it's better than what you were telling me before, because you said before she just ignored you and wouldn't.
Well, that's what she used to do. And sometimes she does it. I mean, on field day, and I kept saying her name, and she kept ignoring me, but she didn't ignore the other students. So,
Did that hurt?
yeah, made me angry. I'm like, you know what? Why do other kids have the right to be heard when I don't? I mean, she was probably tired of me arguing, but when I kept asking, when I started yelling, unfortunately, that part was my fault, I admit. It's not good that I argued before that, and it's something I wasn't supposed to. I tossed a water bottle. She says don't, and Miss Dutt said don't toss our water bottles, but I don't know what I did. But,
So you're fidgeting with your bottle?
and someone else told me not to, but it's hard not to. Sometimes it's hard not to fidget sometimes. And then she said, okay, you missed the last station. I'm like, what? And then when we were about to move on to the next station, I kept asking her throughout that snack station, but on our way to the last station, she threatened to send me to the office.
For?
Keep repeating her name and saying Miss Walker, Miss Walker, Miss Walker.
Okay.
And she didn't say I already told you no, and say that I had to change my color when I got into class. She just immediately threatened to send me to the office.
Okay.
I mean, the situation started probably because of my fault, but being ignored, that's a little much.
So, do you try to pick fights or try to be difficult, or?
I don't want to be a troublemaker.
I don't think you're a troublemaker.
Apparently my teacher did.
I think it's just a question of not understanding. And she thinks, why should I learn all about this disorder if somebody's going to turn around and say, no, he doesn't really have it? By then the end of the school year's over, and she's like, well, what was the use in trying anyway? So, in her defense, I think, like I said, it's a bad situation for everybody. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's upset. Everybody feels like they're just pushed to their limit.
I have been. I've been yelled at, scolded, been falsely accused, made fun of, had nothing done about it.
So what do all those messages say about you? If all those words could say something about you, what are they trying to tell you about you?
I'm not good enough at it. I'm not good enough at being in her class. I'm not good enough at focusing. I don't work hard enough.
Is that true?
I'm a failure.
Is that true?
No, but that's what she insinuates.
Okay, but you know that you're not a failure, right? And you know that you're trying.
Well, it's hard to remind myself that when I'm constantly mentally told that.
Okay.
And put down.
Well, I love you. And I'm glad that we got a chance for you to say what you needed to say. Thanks for opening up for me, buddy. I think you did a really good job. I know.
And when I said I wanted to make like a little I asked her if we could make a taser out of battery.
Yeah.
And then she got all bent out of shape. I mean, boys jerk around like that and like zapping gum or a shock gun where you press the button, you get zapped.
Yeah.
No
So,
biggie.
so that's the taser you were talking about.
Right. Not like one of those ones that police have that paralyze people temporarily.
that was kind of funny, but
Yeah.
it was odd. What about the water fight? That seemed to be such a big disciplinary issue.
At the same, it's a motion sensor thing. So I had my hands right there, and I screwed one of my friends, and we were just joking around. And Colt got a drop of water that was about the size of a few drops of water that were about this big on him. And then he told on us.
And he was the one that supposedly got very, very wet?
Well, Shane Holcomb did.
Oh, was he the one that you were having the water fight with?
Yeah. I mean, guys do that. I mean, why can't a teacher let boys be boys? I mean, Colt acted like he was the Wicked Witch of the West, melting in water. Well, that's what Shane and I joke around about. Shane says that it's not like he's melting or anything. I agree with him.
Does it feel good to have somebody in class who understands your motives and knows that you're not a bad kid?
Yep. And one person said on this humanitarian thing that I have good intentions, but it said anonymous.
So who do you think said that?
Probably not Miss Walker.
But how did it feel when you
Good.
saw that somebody? Did you feel a little bit vindicated, like somebody understood you finally? Did it mean a lot to you? I noticed that you kept it.
Although I don't know where it is now.
It's on the dining room table,
Sweet.
I believe. So, anyway.
I'm not one of those people that just goes around trying to cause trouble.
Are you an angry person?
Angry at my teacher for always yelling at me.
But are you an angry person?
Normally I'm a happy person and easygoing, but when someone gets on my bad side, then like another kid gets on my bad side, then they'll probably regret it.
So how did somebody get on your bad side?
Making fun of me. Like one of the kids in my neighborhood one time pushed his scooter in front of my bike when I was coming off a ramp, and then I tossed his bike into the green belt.
His bike?
No, a scooter.
Into the green belt?
Right.
Oh, you mean the median, the grass
Yeah.
median? Well.
So people do not want to mess with me, or
Because you're tired of getting picked on?
right. And that could have seriously injured me. Him rolling his scooter in front of me and jumping off of it.
I like it when you look me in the eyes. That's really awesome. You know that when you look me in the eyes, it feels like a big hug.
Oh.
It does.
Now,
You don't look me in the eyes real often.
it would have.
I
It
love
would
that.
not have been appropriate if I did this, but I would have felt better if I tossed his bike and landed in the side on the concrete.
But it didn't, and you didn't
Right.
harm his property, so that was good control. And I know that Doug got really upset, but I understand why you reacted the way you did. There's
Because
better
he could have
ways.
seriously injured me.
Yeah, there's better ways to respond.
Running
And-
over it with my bike.
Well, running over it, you would have gotten hurt.
Well, I've ran over the handle with my bike before, and I didn't get hurt. It was just like a speed bump.
Okay. Well, you know what? We have a lot of choices, and I think that your choices are going to get better and better with time. And I'm proud of the good ones that you're making. That shows me that you're making a lot of progress and trying to make good decisions. I'm proud of you.
And the kid in my neighborhood, I mainly just play with him because he's the mean person there. And sometimes he just darts out of the house for no specific reason. Sometimes he's sour.
Quit rubbing your nose, buddy.
Well, it itches.
Okay, but your nose is... You get a bunch of bumps on your nose.
So,
Okay. Do you feel like you've said your piece? Everything that... What's it like to be Issa?
it's indifferent. fun because you think of out of the ordinary stuff. I mean, like, when I go on Lego Digital Designer, like some people might just build a normal